Round brought to you by www.15rounds.com, the worldwide leader in boxing news. Also, Abrams Boxing PR Media and Broadcasting, the industry standard for boxing media relations and play-by-play broadcasting. Also, check out www.abramsboxing.com, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, as well as M. Abrams Boxing on Twitter and Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. Hello, boxing fans out there. I'm Marc Abrams, and welcome to another edition of the Abrams Boxing Show. We have two good guests for you. We'll have Dylan Price, who scored a unanimous decision win. We'll get to his fight in a minute. And also the former two-division world champion, Danny Garcia, who's looking to hopefully win a world title at middleweight. So he talked to us about that. So we will get into that in a few minutes. But first things first, let's take a step backwards to this past Saturday night, Pomona, California, live on the Zone. Luis Nery scored a terrific 11th round stoppage over Azat Hovhannisyan in a fight that could be the clubhouse leader for fight of the year. 11th round stoppage. Both guys slugged away at each other for the better part of 11 rounds. Nery took control, and in round 11, he rocked Hovhannisyan, then dropped him, rocked him again. The fight was stopped at 151. Nery goes to 34-1 with 26 knockouts. Hovhannisyan was 21-4 with 17 knockouts, and this WBC super bantamweight elimination bout. Just a great fight that was like I said, could be the clubhouse leader right now for fight of the year. Saturday afternoon in Nottingham, England, Mauricio Lara won the WBA featherweight championship with a one-punch left hook knockout over former champion Lee Wood. Wood now 26-3. 16 knockouts. Lara 26-2-1 with 19 knockouts. Wood was in control of the fight until the two fighters tried to exchange left hooks. Bronco Lara's fight, left hook just landed harder, put Wood on his back. And then there was some controversy in the sense that Ben Davidson, the trainer for Lee Wood, threw in the towel with just 6 seconds to go in the round. Lara, for his part, was in the middle of the ring. He didn't stay in the neutral corners, so the ref should have at least pushed him back. Maybe would have bought Wood a couple extra seconds. But nonetheless, Mauricio Lara is your new WBA featherweight champion. And now it could be a rematch, maybe a third fight with Josh Warrington. There was a post-fight incident where Lara actually laughed and admitted that he spit on Warrington, which is, pretty out there for a guy to do that and kind of laugh and admit to it. The co-feature saw Dalton Smith remain undefeated, go to 14-0, scored a 12-round unanimous decision over Billy Allington. Allington now 10-2-4. Scores are 120-107, 119-109, and 119-108. Next up for Dalton Smith will be a fight with Sam Maxwell, who fought and won on the undercard. Also, unbeaten lightweight Gary Cully, who's a big kid, about 6'3", 16-0, 10 knockouts now as he took out Wilfredo Flores in round 2 of their WBA Intercontinental fight. Flores he was just overmatched. Cully's a guy, 16-0, 10 knockouts, is a guy to look forward on watching his development as he develops into a contender. Undefeated cruiserweight Siobhan Clark went the distance for the first time, went to 5-0 as he scored a 10-round unanimous decision over Israel Duffus. Scores of 98-88, 98-88 again, and 98-90. And in an upset that kicked off the DAZN part of the card, Diego Ruiz, 24-6-1, won a wide 10-round unanimous decision over Camille Yafai. Yafai now 19-3 11 knockouts. Scores were 98-89, 97-90, and 97-91 for Diego Ruiz. Also on DAZN, really wasn't publicized that much, but I got a chance to see it. 44-year-old former two-division world champion middleweight, super middleweight, Felix Sturm, now campaigning as a light heavyweight, took a 10-round unanimous decision over Sakru Atai. It actually was a close fight, 97-95, 96-94. Fine with that, but 99-91, a little wide for my liking in that fight. In the co-feature, the first time since 2019, former WBA super middleweight champion Tyron Zhuge took out Michael Raba in the first round of their fight. Zhuge is still just 30 years old. Time was 2:33, so let's see if if he can become a factor again in the super middleweight division. Friday night, Showbox, a New Generation, live from Topeka, Kansas, saw Ardrill Holmes go to 13-0. He took a 10-round split decision from Ismael Villarreal. Villarreal now 12-1. Scores are 97-93, 96-94 for Holmes, 96-94 for Villarreal. In a very exciting fight, our guest from last week, Edward Vasquez, won a 10-round split decision over Misael Lopez. Scores are 96-93, 95-94 for Vasquez, 95-94 for Lopez. A third-round knockdown by Vasquez was the difference in that 95-94 scorecard. Also in the opener, former NCAA running back Kurt Scooby took out John Manu in 4 rounds. He dropped him 4 times in 2 rounds. Did Kurt Scooby. He's now 11-0, 9 knockouts. Manu from Australia falls to 7-1-1. He's an athlete. Went to Fresno State and Azusa Pacific as a running back, 75 pounds over his fighting weight. So he's got to look out for his Kurt Scooby. Saturday night in Chester, PA, Dylan Price, and I was lucky enough to call the fight live on ProfitsPlus.com. Dylan Price went to 16-0 with 10 knockouts as he won a 10-round unanimous decision over Jobert Alvarez. Alvarez now 25-2, 7 knockouts. Captured the WBO Global WBC Intercontinental title. Scores were 100-90, 98-92 twice for Dylan Price. There were a lot of celebrities in the house that night to watch Dylan Price. One of them was the former welterweight and junior welterweight champion of the world, Danny Garcia. I had a chance to catch up with him and get a couple minutes, and this is what he had to say. Danny Garcia just saw Dylan Price. Good victory. He picked up a couple bantamweight titles, move up in the rankings. What were your thoughts?
Great victory. I thought he won every round. The guy didn't come to fall. I'll tell you that much. He came to fight. So definitely a learning experience. Definitely a fight you need to go to the next level. Like I said, I thought he won every round. And these are the fights you need to build yourself up to a champion.
When you sit there and look at that, he's on his way up. You remember when you were fighting for those regional belts and how much that meant to you?
Definitely. I always tell people this. The best part about everything is the journey. The journey, making your way up to the top from the amateurs, that's the best thing about boxing and any journey. You know, the funnest part is the journey. So this is the part you always remember. This is the hungriest part of your life when you're coming up.
Real quickly about you, I know you're looking to maybe come back in the spring. Is that what the rumors are?
I don't think it's the spring.
Summer.
I would love the spring, like May's possible, or early June. I don't want to wait till July. I'm not trying to be like on another year layoff.
I know after the last fight you're looking at Laura, maybe stay 54. Is there anyone like kind of on the radar?
No, I definitely want to fight Laura. That's the fight I want. I want to fight Laura at 155 for the middleweight title. My goal is to be a 3-division world champion, and I think that's a great fight for me.
What kind of feedback have you got from the powers that be to maybe to see if that fight's possible?
The fight is very possible. You know, we're both with PBC. It's an easy fight to be made. You know, I don't complain. He wants to fight. I want to fight. I think there's the only issue was like WBA mandatory him to fight Triple G, so I gotta wait. I gotta wait for what goes on for that. But other than that, I think the fight should be made. It's an easy fight to be made. Both teams want it, and let's make it happen.
That doesn't happen. Is there a plan B in the back of your mind?
Well, I never have a plan B, but my plan B is to make plan A work.
That's a good way to look at it. Danny, always a pleasure seeing you, especially out supporting the younger fighters. So it's one thing we have in Philadelphia. All the guys are out. Julian was out, Fulton was out, you're out. It's good seeing you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sure, this what keeps me hungry. You know, that's what keeps me hungry. Seeing other young guys, hunger makes me hungry, and that's what motivates me. So let's do it.
Well, best of luck, and we'll see you.
For sure. Thank you.
Speaking of young guys, the winner of the main event, Dylan Price, now world ranked in the WBO and the WBC, won these 2 regional belts, and this is what the young bantamweight contender had to say. Just moments after Dylan Price wins the WBO Global WBC Intercontinental titles. Tough fight there. That was a tough guy.
It was tough. He definitely was tough. I just want to thank my Heavenly Father, Yahuwah, for both of us making it out of the ring safely, and back to the drawing board and work on the things I need to work on.
We were talking about, especially early, how well you were going to the body. Was that the game plan?
Yeah, that was the game plan. Definitely go to the body early, try to break him down, and stop him in the later rounds, but he was tough.
This fight, in a way reminded a little bit of the last fight with Carell, where you hit him with so many punches, but for whatever reason, he wasn't going anywhere. After like maybe 6-7 rounds, did you just say to yourself, you know what, the knockout may not be here tonight, and just try to, finish strong and have a good performance?
No, my dad was still telling me to press on to try to get the knockout, but he just was tough. But I could have did a little bit more, though. I could have did a little more.
Well, your big brother, Nate Campbell, kept calling for the uppercut. You didn't feature the uppercut as much in this fight.
I definitely should have been throwing the uppercut more and the overhand. I was relying on the left hook a lot because I seen he had that hand down, but I should have been mixing it up a little bit more. But it is what it is. Back to the drawing board.
Now with these two belts, you figure to crack the top 10, hopefully in the WBC and the WBO. What type of fight and maybe when would you like to get back out there?
I like to get back, what is it, February, March, April, May, like around May, June. I like to get back in the ring and get back in there, maybe fight for another title, the IBF. Yep.
You see this type of opponent or maybe something a little
bigger, something a little better. I just want to keep climbing one step at a time, so.
Were you surprised every time you'd hit him with a good barrage of punches, he came back? He came to win tonight?
Yeah, he definitely came to win. I wasn't surprised, though. I knew he was going to be a tough fighter. He's a veteran, so shout out to him. And I'm just glad we both made it out the ring safely tonight.
And you got a guy who had a record of 21-4. Now you have him on your record. What do you want to say to the fans in closing?
To the fans, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody that came out. I appreciate y'all. And till next time.
Building a little home here in Chester, Pennsylvania, at the Elevations Event Center. Dylan Price still undefeated now, 16-0. Congratulations.
Thank you, Marc. I appreciate it.
There you have it, Dylan Price, 16-0, 10 knockouts. Moving up the rankings in the WBO, the WBC, and has a new cornerman in Nonito Donaire, who was in Chester, PA, running the corner or help run the corner with David Price and Wade Hennett. A good team that they have going there. Junior welterweight Greg Outlaw won a 8-round decision over Willie Shaw. That headlined a big 13-fight card, Jetter Promotions, Latino, Maryland, in Hanover, Maryland on Saturday night. It starts Wednesday night, ProBox TV and ProBox on their website. They'll feature Manuel Gallegos, 20-1, 16 knockouts, taking on Richard Vashchin, 13-0, 6 knockouts in a super middleweight bout. Thursday, DAZN will have popular super flyweight scrappy John Ramirez, 10-0, 8 knockouts. He's knocking on the door of a world title shot, taking on Luis Padilla, 15-3, 2 knockouts from the Fantasy Springs Resort in Indio, California. Friday night, I'll be behind the mic, bxngtv.com. 42-year-old former world champion Guillermo Rigondeaux, 20-3, 13 knockouts. Will be back in the ring for the first time in a year when he takes on Jesus Martinez, 33-17-1, 16 knockouts. That'll be the 10-round main event at Hialeah Park in South Florida. Again, bxngtv.com. Saturday Showtime is a triple header that will feature, I think, going to be another terrific fight. Subriel Matias, 18-1, 18 knockouts, takes on Jeremias Ponce, 30-0, 20 knockouts for the vacant IBF 140-pound world title fight. Elvis Rodriguez against against Joseph Adorno, and Jamal James against Alberto Palmetta are the 3 fights on that card this Saturday, live on Showtime. Sunday, Jake Paul, 8-0, 4 knockouts, gets his long-awaited fight against Tommy Fury. Fury 8-0, 4 knockouts. Paul 6-0, 4 knockouts. That place will take place on ESPN Plus pay-per-view at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, $49.99. WBC Cruiserweight Champion Alanga Makabu, 29-2, 25 knockouts. Defends his title against Badu Jack, 27-3, 16 knockouts. So you look for that. And Mauricio Suleiman said that should Jake Paul win on Sunday, he will be ranked in the WBC. So be very interesting. The feedback should Jake Paul win. Some of the boxing purists may go crazy come next WBC ratings period. I like Jake Paul to win the fight, by the way. I like Matias as well. Saturday night, that's gonna be a terrific fight. Looking forward to a big weekend of boxing. Like I said, I'll be Friday night. I'll be in Florida for Rigondeaux. Actually, Thursday night's a card on Boxing Insider. Boxing Insider YouTube page, New York, I'll be there as well. So I'll be there, 15rounds.com, Abrams Boxing. I'm everywhere. So look out for all the coverage on Abrams Boxing YouTube and 15rounds.com. Some news items of the week. Former unified super featherweight champion Michaela Mayer gets back in action. She's going to take on former two-time 140-pound champion Christina Lenartado, 14-2, 6 knockouts. That will take place on April 15th at the Copper Box Arena. That will support the big Joe Joyce Zheli Zhang heavyweight tussle. That'll be live on ESPN+. Gilberto Zerto Ramirez will take on Gabriel Rosado in a 12-round light heavyweight matchup on March the 18th. That fight will take place at the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. Co-feature will see former world champion Joseph Jojo Diaz take on former world title challenger Mercedo Hesta in a 12-round lightweight bout. BLK Prime announced the cancellation of the Adrian Broner-Michael Williams fight that was scheduled to take place on actually this weekend, when Williams had his jaw broken in a late sparring session. They're looking for maybe a date in April for Broner to come back, not necessarily Michael Williams Jr. I don't think will be the opponent. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis pleaded guilty to 4 traffic offenses in a hit-and-run case. Davis entered the pleas in Baltimore about a week ago, and it looks like he'll be sentenced on May the 5th. So that will pave the way for the announcement, which, by the time you watch this, hopefully they'll announce the April 15th mega showdown between Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. So hopefully, that fight gets made. Depending on what you read, the fight's either very close to being done or, could be done. They're just waiting for a couple loose ends to tie up. So we will see we will see what happens with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Crossing my fingers because I'll be out there if it happens. On March 25th, the aforementioned David Benavidez Caleb Plant, big fight happening. They announced a real good undercard. I'm going to be out there on March the 25th at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas. Jesus Ramos, 19-0, takes on Joey Spencer, 16-0. Also, Chris Colbert, the former interim world champion, 16-1, 6 knockouts, taking on Jose Valenzuela, 12-1, 8 knockouts, as well as Cody Crowley, the highly ranked welterweight, 21-0, 9 knockouts, taking on Abel Ramos in the televised opener. That's going to be a terrific show, and I'm really looking forward to getting out to Las Vegas. We'll be live podcasting all week from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Get all the fighters on the card. Usually when PBC has big fights, a lot of their fighters are roaming around the hotel, roaming around the media room to do interviews. So we're going to be doing a lot of special shows from maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of fight week. And then Saturday, we'll probably be providing some live content as well on Abrams Boxing on YouTube. Top Rank announced that ESPN Plus will stream the April 8th world title doubleheader from Tokyo, Japan. The main event is a light flyweight unification bout between Kenshiro Teraji taking on, he's the WBC and WBO champ, taking WBO champ Jonathan La Bamba Rodriguez. That will be, one of those fights that you got to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to watch, and I'll be up. It was a good fight. Jonathan Gonzalez and Kenshiro Teraji is going to be a terrific fight. After 3 postponements of the WBO Junior welterweight world title fight rematch between reigning champion Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, that's been tabled because the WBO now has now ordered Josh Taylor to start negotiation with former undisputed lightweight world champion Teofimo Lopez for that fight this summer. So that's going to be an interesting fight as well. I mean, especially if the fight takes place overseas in the UK, which, Lopez, I think, has said he'll go there to fight Josh Taylor. So all those people who are down on Teofimo Lopez, he's stepping right back into the fire, after the couple fights that he's had at 140 pounds, his last fight against Sandor Martin. And now he's going to looks like he's going to fight for the WBO 140-pound World Championship title. Samson Boxing and Paco Presents have signed featherweight Christian Olivo Barada, 20-0-1, 7 knockouts, and lightweight Omar Super Salcedo Gamez, 16-0, 11 knockouts, to multi-year promotional contracts. The move is expected to open up opportunities for them to fight on some PBC card, as Samson does a lot of business with the Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champions. The WBO has announced a February 23 purse bid for the mandatory title between Kazuto Ioka and former flyweight champion Junto Nakatani. However, there are reports saying that Ioka will instead, and then he'll rematch Joshua Franco, who they fought in a draw for New Year's Eve. So that's going on. So that's our show this week. Like I said, a lot going on this week. Wednesday night Pro Box on the Pro Box YouTube channel. Thursday night, we got a fight from New York on the Boxing Insider YouTube channel. John Ramirez fighting on the Zone. Friday night on BXNG TV, I'll be behind the mic to watch Guillermo Rigondeaux take on Jesus Martinez. A lot of good Cuban prospects also on the card. I'm looking forward to getting down to Hialeah, Florida for that. Saturday, we got the big Showtime triple header with Jeremias Ponce taking on Subriel Matias for the vacant IBF 140-pound World Championship. Next week, a Showtime fight's going on, and a lot of news. I mean, it's that time. We're just after the new year. Things are a little slow, and then things really start kicking into full gear. Next week, I'm telling you that about April 15th, Gervonta Davis against Ryan Garcia. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that fight gets done and they announce the fight very, very soon. Hopefully, maybe by the time some of you fans are even watching this podcast. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. I'd like to thank Danny Garcia and Dylan Price for joining me earlier in the show, and we'll have some more great guests next week on the Abrams Boxing Show. We'll talk to you then.